What's the best business for introverts, deeply healing women, or HSPs? In this video, if you have ever asked yourself, what business should I start? Then this is the video for you. Before we dive in, I just wanted to let you know I'm recovering from jaw surgery, so hopefully you can understand me okay. In this video, I'm going to cover how to choose an aligned business model. Basically, what is the best business for you to start, right? And in a few minutes, I'm also going to share an in-depth guide that'll help you select the best business for you, right? Because this is, if you haven't seen my other videos, make sure you go back and watch them, because we have been doing things up to this point in order to help you select the best business model to give you the best chance of success so that you have a sustainable business, one that works with your energy as opposed to against you. Now, in the earlier videos, we talked about what an online business is, what the different types of business models are that exist, and how your strengths and your energy and capacity matter when you're selecting a business model. If you haven't seen those videos already, like I said, make sure you go and watch them. You can grab my free course and log in there to catch up on all of those. But in this video, we're going to slow things down a little bit and get very practical. And instead of asking what is the best business model or what's the best business model to start, we're actually going to ask, how does each one work? And what does it really require of me or of you in order to make the business work? So we covered an overview of the business models, but we're going to go more in depth in this video because most business models are marketed as the quote unquote best one in order to sell something. And that doesn't mean that that business model doesn't work, but that also doesn't mean that it would be workable for you, because when these things are sold as the best business model, they're not taking into account your energy and what your needs are, and if you are neurodivergent, how your brain works differently, that sort of thing. Or if you're an introvert, maybe you don't want to be prospecting all the time, that sort of thing. So today we're going to talk about the nuance to each, and we're going to talk about it in a calm manner with honesty and without any pressure, so you can choose a starting point that actually fits your life as opposed to having someone tell you what would work for you. So like I said, I already covered these 7 main business models in video 2. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go watch it, but we're going more in depth with this one. And in video 3, we went through your strengths, which is going to help you so much with selecting the right model, because this video has an exercise and a breakdown of each model with a bit more depth. So make sure that you, I put together a comprehensive guide that's a 3-step guide for you that goes with this video. So make sure you log into the course so you can go and download those 3 steps, because it's really going to help bring everything together and put it all in one place for you too, so that way you're not just going through it and you have it written down somewhere. You're not just like keeping it in your head and not putting it anywhere. So let's talk about model number 1, which is digital products. And so this model is often sold as being the best because digital products are commonly marketed as being passive income, being scalable, being build once and you sell it forever sort of thing. And that can be true, but you need to have the right context. What this model actually is you create a digital asset, which can be a course or a guide or a template, a planner, things like that, or something, not even mentioned there. And then people purchase that and receive it without you delivering it live each time. So it can just be a guide, or it can be a full-on course. Now, the products themselves generally need to go through testing phases. So it's not instant income. And that's the thing that, I think a lot of people kind of get misguided on, right? It is set it and forget it, but it takes a lot to get to that set point and forget point. There's a lot of testing and trial and error, and that doesn't mean that that's bad. That's okay. That's what business is, really. It's a lot of trial and error. But it's something that you need to be aware of when you're jumping into it. So, like I said, digital products are not instant income. They are not effort free. And they are not guaranteed to sell just because they exist. So you need to do a lot of market research. You want to figure out where your product fits into the marketplace, who your competitors are, that sort of thing. And that takes a lot of work up front. So that, and again, that doesn't mean that it's not worth it. It's just knowing that it does take a lot of work up front. How this model makes money, it's pretty self-explanatory, right? Someone purchases your digital product and you get paid on it. But your income depends on how clearly the product solves a problem, how many people see it, how well it's explained and positioned, and then you're paid per sales. So it's not like you are earning residual incomes on that, right? Like you're not, unless you have a monthly digital product like a membership or something like that, it's paid once, and then you have to go and find new customers or clients, and then so it's that constant cycle. And it's also a numbers game, right? Like 100 people could see it and maybe only one person's going to buy it. So that's something to keep in mind too. In terms of technology needs for this actual type of model, you can start simply with a simple sales and delivery platform, something like ThriveCart. I have that, where you can just set up to sell it and then deliver it. If it's set up the right way, there's ThriveLearn, there's like different components too. But basically, you can get something that simply, sometimes people just use PayPal, and they can deliver it once they get the order that comes through. That can be very manual though. Then you can also scale, and when you're scaling, then you can bring in an email marketing, email service provider essentially. You can then you can create a bunch of landing pages and some analytics tools, that sort of thing. But so it doesn't have to be real technology heavy, but it is going to be you are going to need some technology to start. This model may feel aligned for people who enjoy creating quietly, organizing or teaching information, and building assets over time. Now, when you want to think carefully about this is if you want fast feedback or you dislike content creation or promotion, this model can feel really slow early on. So that's something to consider. And there is a lot of testing involved. Coaching and consulting is model number 2. This is often sold as being the best because it is positioned as having high income potential, fast start, that it can be deeply fulfilling, and it can be. All of those things very much can be true if it fits you. But again, there's nuance to it. This model is actually supporting clients through specific problems or transformations. It's usually in a one-on-one or small group scenario. So that's something to keep in mind. What it is not is coaching is not just talking, and it's not emotionally effortless. It is income that comes with boundaries. You have to be really good at boundary setting. So that's something to keep in mind. And you can start small, but it's going to depend on, your life up to that point. If you have a large group of friends who maybe would be interested in your coaching, or just one, that can help you to get started. But you may not have anybody who would really fit your coaching or your consulting package. So then you have to go and learn all the marketing and find your audience. So you make money with this where you can pay per session or per package. Packages are best because it helps get them to commit to at least a certain amount of sessions, especially if you're doing any sort of transformational work that does not happen in one session normally. There can be many transformations, but the long-term viability of that usually does kind of build upon itself. And so getting them to commit to a package is best, but you can sell one-off sessions as well. Your income depends on your time and your availability. It depends on the value of the support that you provide, and you are paid for direct support. Something to consider for technology needs is, to start, you would want to have a scheduling platform. You'll want to likely be able to take video calls, and then payment processing. So you could do coaching sessions in person, but a lot of times they are done online, especially if you're looking for a lifestyle business. If you're looking for something to be mobile where you can do anywhere, then you're going to want to be able to take calls virtually. And then to scale, there are full-on client systems that you can get out there. Also, email service providers and creating digital resources are things to keep in mind technology-wise. So you would need technology to be able to support all of that. Who this model may feel aligned for, it's going to feel aligned for people who enjoy deep conversations or one-on-one support, or if you enjoy doing deep, meaningful transformation work. But when you want to think about this one carefully, what to consider is if holding emotional space for someone else drains you. This model really requires strong boundaries to remain sustainable. One way you know it's a good fit is if you do, from that one-on-one time, actually walk away energized. But if it's something that you walk away and you're like, oh, that was so draining, then it's not going to be the best fit for you. And, even though I have clients where I walk away energized, but I have had some where it's like, oh, it was really draining. So that can still happen, even if it is still a good fit for you. Now, as you listen to this, before I go into the next one, I just want you to notice which model feels lighter or heavier in your body. And like I said, to make this easier, I've put together a worksheet inside of my free course that helps you work through which model may be best for you. This builds upon video 3, so if you haven't yet signed up or if you're not logged in, make sure that you go and do that. The video, or the link, is below this video, and if you need to get logged in directly, and then that way you can work through it calmly and at your own pace. So model number 3 is freelancing or services. This model is often sold as being the best model when it's marketed as the fastest way to make money. And it is also sold as being low risk and easy to start. Again, this is often true, but that doesn't mean it's effortless, right? There's still things that you're going to have to learn in order to make that become a reality. And so it can be fast to start, but it depends on where you are in the learning curve. What this model actually is you offer a specific skill or a service, and you're paid to complete tasks or projects. So you could be like a fractional something, so a fractional CIO or a fractional chief marketing officer, or a fractional accountant. So that just means that you're basically not working with them all the time. You're their accountant, or whatever it is, you're their technology officer, but you are only dedicating X amount of hours to them per week type of thing, or they keep you on retainer, that sort of thing. What this model is not, and sorry, just to back up a little bit too, and then there's also the project aspect, right? So where you could complete certain tasks or projects, and then it's just a temporary thing, as opposed to being a fractional see something. So what this model is not is, this model is not passive income. Freelance is not passive income. It's something that you must do forever. And it is time intensive. This model makes money when clients pay you for your services, but you have to kind of put together what that would look like, right? And then your income depends on the time that you work, the amount of time you worked, the project volume, of course, the rates that you determine, and you're paid for implementation oftentimes. So some of the technology needs for this model is that you would need an email service provider, you'll need invoicing, and you'll need to be able to take payments. To scale, you can start to incorporate systems, like a full-on system that includes all of these things. You may need a system or setting up some templates for things. You may need like a project organizer or like a workflow project management tool, that sort of thing. Who this model really feels aligned for is if you are someone who prefers clear expectations, time-based work, quicker income, this could be a really good model for you. But you want to think about this model carefully if deadlines and client communication are really draining for you, and they can be draining without the right structure. So you want to make sure if you're not someone who's really structured, this may not be the best fit. But if you're someone where it's like you like to have some structure and you are good at setting up those structures and projects, then this could be a really good fit for you. Okay, so affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is often sold as being the best model because it is the fastest way to make money online. So you may hear that it is passive income. It's also marketed as something that you can start immediately. And again, all can be true, but also still nuanced. Affiliate marketing can be fast if you already have copywriting or selling skills. If you already know how to bring in traffic, if you have money to test ads, that's all things that are dependent, like your success is dependent upon and how quickly you can be successful with this. Without those, it's usually slower, but it's very scalable. I will say that affiliate marketing is a great way to just have a product and essentially something set up for you where all you have to do is focus on learning the marketing and traffic side of business. So if you are not, if you're totally starting out, this is one that I really highly recommend for that reason, because then, your learning curve, you're not figuring out like what sort of package to put together, like in a coaching package, or what sort of service to offer, or what sort of, like with digital products, you're not putting together things yourself and testing all that. These are products that are already available on the market, in the marketplace, and are sold. You just have to learn how to market them, and then how to bring in traffic. And those are the two hardest things in business to master and to really do well, and to really get your feet wet with too. So they can be the biggest hurdles. So that's why if you're just starting out, affiliate marketing is a great one. But it is something to keep in mind that you aren't necessarily going to be making money right away, because you're going to have to learn those things. Now, if you already have those skills, then this will be an amazing one for you. What this model actually is you recommend products you hopefully genuinely use. I do recommend genuinely using them, or you trust, if it's a brand or a company that you trust. And then you earn a commission when someone buys through your link. What affiliate marketing is not, it's not spamming links to people. It's not pretending to love products, and it's not guaranteed income, right? Like I'm assuming you want to conduct yourself with some integrity and business ethics. And so, you probably don't want to sell things that you don't know anything about. And so you likely will want products that you have tested and that you personally love as well, or that you believe in. So like there are some things out there like digital products on like manifesting and things like that, right? Like where if you're someone who believes in manifesting things, that could be a good fit, right? I still recommend that you test out the product and before you sell it, because it's also going to help you with your marketing. But that's just something to keep in mind. So you make money when someone purchases through your affiliate link. Your income depends on the traffic that you bring in, the trust that you build with your audience, and conversion rates. And then you're paid per commission. So it is like a one and done type deal. Normally, there are products out there that do offer monthly recurring sales. So if someone gets into a membership or they pay a monthly fee for something, like if you're selling an affiliate product that actually has a monthly subscription, then sometimes you earn a commission on that. It depends on the product itself and the way that they're structured. Because some companies just pay you for the first sale, and then that's it. And then in terms of your technology needs for this one, to start, you would likely need a content platform or an ad platform. So, and plus tracking links. The affiliate manager, or they provide you with the tracking link, but you're going to need to get into an affiliate platform to go and search for those products. And then the content platform would be like Facebook or Instagram, or some sort of advertising platform, which again could be Facebook, it could be YouTube, it could be Instagram, it could be TikTok, but you're going to have to learn that in order to get started. And then to scale, you'll want to have an email service provider, because then you can build an email list and continue to market to individuals. You'll want to learn how to build landing pages, and so that you can, there's a lot that goes into it, or can go into it, but sometimes you want to divert traffic away from the direct affiliate link, have them be on a landing page first, and then link to the offer there, where you can talk about it on that landing page a little bit more before they go in, or also show a video or something. Again, there's a little bit of nuance, but this is just for scaling, so this is not to get started. Having an analytics platform is good, so you can see and track your analytics. Some affiliate platforms offer this, a lot of them do. And then, of course, optional additional ads. So, but again, you can start very simply with just a content or an ad platform, and then having those tracking links. This model may feel most aligned for people who enjoy explaining tools or explaining products, or they enjoy teaching, or they would rather do low pressure recommending of products. By low pressure, I mean, maybe you're creating education type stuff, or you're just running an ad to get them to the video of the product owner, right? So all you're doing, that's pretty much low pressure, right? Those people are choosing to opt in by seeing your ad to go to that page, and so it's not that one-on-one interaction. Okay, so model number 5 is content creation. It can be on mobile, but how this is often sold as being the best is content creation is often marketed as being easy, fun, and just show up and be yourself. That's true, but that's also incomplete, because content creation, it's actually a distribution channel. It's not a standalone business. So how this model makes money is to understand that you create content, but usually the money comes after you have built up an audience, and you may get some ad revenue from that. So like YouTube, you see those ads pop up, right? Sometimes people are paid for those ads to appear on their channel or their video. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they just show up and you can't do anything about it. But it depends. Sometimes they are. Affiliate marketing would be another one that you can work into being a content creator. So you would recommend your products. You could own your own products or services and do content creation, or you can get some sponsorships. And this again usually comes later, after you built up your platform, right? Or you built up your audience and you have a following. And they don't always pay that much money with the sponsorships. It just kind of depends though. As a content creator, what you do is you build trust with your audience, you become an authority on something, and you create connection with your audience. And that's really what content creation is about. Some people do that, with funny stuff. Some people do that with educational stuff. There's various ways. And so if there's something that you really enjoy, like maybe you like, I don't know, cooking or something, and you want to show people how to do recipes or, that sort of thing, like that's an educational thing. Maybe you like making funny videos, and that's entertainment. And then you can figure out a product or a service that you'd want to like plug in with that entertainment. Money comes from what the content is connected to, really, in this one. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, just creating content for content's sake is not going to make you any money unless you get ad sponsor or you get sponsors later, and that takes a while to build. The technology you need to get started here is you really need a platform and a basic recording tool if you're doing videos, or something like Canva you may have heard of. If not, Canva is a very easy platform to create images. And I mean, you can create a whole bunch of stuff. You can actually create videos with Canva or like slideshows and stuff like that. But something basic like that. And then to scale, an email service provider, again, having analytics, having a good workflow so that and a good schedule. Okay, this is the day I'm making my content, or I have to post every day at this time, that sort of thing. Being able to keep track of all that stuff is helpful. This model would likely feel aligned if you're someone who enjoys teaching or explaining, or you like long form, thoughtful content creation. You can do short content, but it's, it kind of just depends on what you're most comfortable with. You can also do this one in podcast form too. So that would be another one, being being a podcaster and having like kind of a show that way, would be one. Okay, so model number 6, e-commerce and physical products. So how this model is often sold as being the best is e-commerce is usually pitched as everyone buys online. So that's where everybody's going to buy things, and that's why e-commerce is the best. Or having unlimited product options. Or drop shipping makes it easy, and that's why this model is the best. The nuance here is that you don't need a warehouse or inventory, sure, but you do need to develop your product research skill, because product research in and of itself is a skill. Margins matter in this area a lot. Often you're working on very low margins. Customer service is something else to consider within this, and the nuance to it. Now, it kind of depends on how you're set up, right, and how much customer service you'll need, but that's something to think about, and that could be a hang up. And ads often require some testing budget. But that's true of anything that you're going to be running ads to. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. That's not only exclusive to e-commerce or physical products. That's anything where you have to run ads. The way this model makes money is when someone buys a product, you get paid for it. But again, your income depends on pricing. It depends on the margins that you're working off of. They're often not great margins. It depends on your traffic and conversion and your technology needs. And your e-commerce platform. And then also depends on if you're running ads and if you have analytics, plugged into that you can look at. This is often, physical and e-commerce products is good for people who are creative and enjoy hands-on. So if you're someone who's creative, you like hands-on tactile work, it could be good for you. Having like an Etsy shop or something like that. It's also good for those who enjoy making stuff or crafting. Or if you're someone you like using technology and you are very tech savvy and you like researching products, right? And you like want to put together a storefront type of thing. There was a company that I really loved. It was called mightiness.com. And I can't remember how long they were around for, 10 or 11 years. But what they did was they curated, and they did hold inventory and stuff to my knowledge. I mean, I did not work there. I bought from them. But they found products that had safer ingredients, right? Or like better for the environment, that sort of thing. So you could have an e-commerce store like that. where you are either holding inventory or doing it as a drop ship method. And then the last one we're going to talk about is network marketing. So how this model is often sold is that it is easy income and fast team growth. And that's not true. It can be, again, depending on, but if you are introverted and you are deeply feeling and neurodivergent, I don't know that it's going to be super fast. I'm just saying that because, we don't tend to be these big social butterflies, right? And the deeply feeling aspect can make us susceptible to like rejection, dysmorphia, or I can't remember what that's called, but highly sensitive to to rejection. I don't like saying highly sensitive, but basically, we feel rejection more deeply. And the thing is that with network marketing, it can be simple, but it's not easy, and it's often seen as it's often demonized by a lot of people, because it's been around for a long time and people have been taught ways to do it improperly, and there have been some really crappy products out there, but there are some really good products out there. There's some really good companies out there too, but the bad ones have kind of been the ones that have given network marketing a bad name. And product sales can be fast, but again, it's going to depend on if you are someone who recommends products a lot. If people don't usually come to you for that sort of thing, you're probably going to have to build an audience, or you're going to have to, you don't want to be just like spamming your family and your friends type of thing. So, and team, you can build a team, and that helps with income, but that usually takes time. And then, the other thing to consider is network marketing is often demonized because people have over-messaged. They have been very, like, hey girl type message, right? And taught ways and recognize a lot of times those people that's what they're taught to do. So, it's not, I wouldn't say, and if that has ever been you, like, it's not on you. Like, that's how they're teaching these people to do things. Sometimes, not always, it just depends on the company, right? But this one also is demonized because expectations are mismanaged. It's often sold as being easier, like, oh yeah, you just share the products, and that's just not always the case. It's often demonized as being like a pyramid scheme, and it's not, because you are selling something. But I think the pyramid scheme aspect comes in when they're talking about like building a team, right? And again, it's gotten a bad rap. That is not the case with it, but it has gotten a bad rap, and so that is a lot that you'll be working against if you pick network marketing. But all of that is to say, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad option. It could be a great option for you. And I don't like preface any of this by trying to scare you. I'm not trying to scare you off. I just want you to know the honest truth about it, and some of the challenges that can come up, because I think if you're caught off guard, that's when you're more likely to quit than if you know this going in and you're like, okay, I know that could be a problem, and that's something to watch out for. And I think I mentioned this in my other video, that the structure of network marketing isn't the issue. It's really the ethics and the execution that make the difference here. How this model makes money is that you earn through product sales and sometimes team commissions. There's not a lot of technology needs. It's very minimal to start. You can scale it or often benefit from having an email service provider and creating content long term, but you don't have to. But it is very minimal to start. They usually give you everything that you need, and everything else from there you can just kind of pick as to like, oh, I want to get an email service provider, or I want to get a landing page for whatever reason, right? Like, so none of those is a must in order to get started with it, which is also one of the benefits to it. This model may feel aligned for people who love recommending products. If you're someone who loves recommending products and you use a lot of them and people come to you, it's still a great model for that. If you enjoy one-on-one conversations, if you like building teams, like maybe something you like in the corporate world, maybe you're a manager and you like developing people, right? Like that could be a really great fit. You get a little bit of that, being able to mentor and guide someone in that team building aspect, if and when you do build a team. So that's something to consider, but you don't have to. It does help with building your income up, though. That's usually when you make money more, is if you're able to build a team. Also, this model is good if you're more emotionally resilient, right? Like you can shrug off the rejection and the kind of the haters. There's some people who can like be really mean and nasty when they're responding if you reach out, right? Hopefully that wouldn't be the case, but people have been burned in the past, and so they just naturally assume that's what you're trying to do, right? So at least that what I think that's what's going on there. And just a word of warning. I think I've already mentioned all of this, but just to make sure that I haven't missed anything, is that this model does often come with more criticism, more rejection, and there is thicker skin that's required in network marketing. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, just a quick reminder, there is a worksheet, a couple of worksheets that go along with this video. So make sure that you log into the course to grab those. The link is below this video, should be below this video, to grab that. And again, you don't need to decide on any one of these. You don't need to make a perfect decision. You just need a starting point that fits your life right now. So that's why I put together the worksheets inside of my free course that helps you work through which model might be best for you, and make sure you go and grab that, and then you can work on it at your own pace. You can always come back to this video as well, but just remember that thoughtfulness is not hesitation, it's actually wisdom. So there is wisdom in knowing and thinking through like which one is best, so that when you do get started with your business, you're starting off on the right foot. In the next video, we're going to go through ethical, introvert-friendly marketing. This is marketing without the sleaze or without the ick factor. So I will see you in the next video.